Good evening, you're watching India Today. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. On the 15th of August, when Kabul fell to the Taliban, terrifying images came to the fore. The most terrified wasn't seen on the roads, and that was the woman of Afghanistan. As days went by, we heard from them. Voice after voice, faces after faces emerged, talking about the tragedy which had come on the women of Afghanistan once again. Some of these faces will go down in the annals of Afghan history of being abject courage, Faces which will be part of Afghan folklore once women's names are taken again on Afghan soil. We've got 7 of them right here. Zarifa Ghaffari was 26 years old when she became the mayor of the capital city of Wardak province. This female mayor of Maidan Sheher created a record in 2018, becoming the youngest person to hold the post. On the day Kabul was taken by the Taliban, she posted, saying she will not leave her country and will rather wait for the Taliban to come and kill her. But the brave mayor had to leave Afghanistan 3 days later with her family.
Zarifa Ghaffari, we've been seeing these horrific pictures of people trying to get out of the country, and one wonders what's going to happen to those children, women being left behind, really. We saw an instance of that a few days ago when there were several men trying to get out of the country, running after the C-17 that took off eventually. What is the sense? Are the men in Afghanistan right now feeling hopeless and thinking that just leaving the country right now is the only option, even without the women and children?
In my country, everyone is afraid of their life. They don't want to go back to 2000 to 2001. No one wants to have the same situation. Taliban are beating everyone. They are killing everyone. They are destroying everything. And yeah, everyone thinks that it's time to just leave because international community left us at the middle of a war, or at the middle of a crisis. And this is like a disaster that happens to my country.
Zarifa Ghaffari, be safe. We are with you. Thank you for your time here. Thank you for joining us and giving us your time.
And for last,
yes,
trust me, it's so hard. You struggle 20 years and suddenly something happens and destroys everything. It's so hard. It's really, really hard. But still, we are able to talk. We are able to fix it out. Please, I request all Taliban's leader, all international community to let's sit and talk. War is not a solution. Killing people is not a solution. How many people you need to kill? How many people you will kill? There are million of people who have voices who will talk against you. Doesn't matter what you will do. So let's sit and talk.
In her mid-30s, Ariana Saeed is an Afghan singer, songwriter and TV personality. She is one of Afghanistan's most famous musical artists. With the fall of Kabul to Taliban on 15th August, she was evacuated from Kabul to Doha and then went to Istanbul in Turkey.
How did that day when you thought of escaping Kabul begin? When did you and Hasib really decide that it is time to leave? What was the plan? How did you manage to reach the airport? And how did you then manage to reach Washington, D.C.?
Well, Geeta, to begin with, I have been in Afghanistan for the past 8 months. I initially went to Kabul this year because I was a judge on one of the biggest talent shows, music talent show in Afghanistan. And then when the show finished, I wanted to stay in Afghanistan and give people some hope with my presence in there. So I established my clothing brand and I established a huge store inside the heart of Kabul, And then in the recent days, we started hearing the news that the Taliban are getting closer. They're capturing the other provinces and they're near Kabul. I was still there until the 15th of August. And then on the 14th, we were getting phone calls from all over, from our friends and the head of the airline, who's a close friend. And he was saying, Ariana, I understand that you love Afghanistan, but you are a target and you have to get out of there. And my family and everybody was concerned for my life. So when the Taliban were coming closer, we said, okay, we booked ourselves on a flight on the 15th, was it? On the 15th of August, we were supposed to take a commercial flight at 8 p.m. in the evening. And then we received a call at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the head of the airline was saying, you have to make your way to the airport right now because the airport is in chaos and you have to get there because it's like crazy out there. We took two cars. In one car there, I was there with my fiance's cousin, and we took a little kid with us just so we can blend in. And if they catch us or stop us on the way, we can blend in with a small child. And we got my fiance to sit in the next car with a lady and a driver. So we started driving towards the airport. We passed through about 5 Taliban checkpoints. One of the checkpoints, they stopped us, and one of them, he came closer and he put the light inside the car to see who's in the car. And the minute that he saw the little child with me, and I was obviously covered with a hijab, and you could only see my eyes and with my glasses on. And when he saw the child, he said, go. So we got lucky that he didn't search, he didn't ask for any names, and he let us go. And again, there was like small children screaming, like babies in the air, held like that by their parents in the air because there was no oxygen. So many women were like fainting, crying. It was like an absolute chaos. And then we got through this road. I'm sorry. It was just heartbreaking to see people in a situation like that. And the small babies, especially because there was one baby in front of me with her mother, and they were holding her in the ear and she was screaming. And I was thinking this baby is going to die any minute because there was no oxygen at all. And then people were like pressed on each other like that. So luckily, my fiance's cousin, he knew the way already. He just knew how to get me closer to the gate as much as possible. So got through the people, close to the gate, and then he opened the gates only for me. And I got lucky because that was apparently the last time that they would open the gate for anybody that night.
"28-year-old Niloufar Rahmani is the first female fixed-wing Air Force aviator in Afghanistan's history and the first female pilot in the Afghan Air Force. Captain Rahmani received threats from both within her family and the Taliban. She applied for asylum in the US and was granted the same in 2018.
So they've been targeting you from time that you've attempted at living your dream or just working. As a working woman itself, it's hard.
Absolutely. You know, I've been on their target list since I started to raise my voice and be a voice for Afghan women and wear the uniform and serve my country. And I am so thankful that I had a parents that they supported me entire way that I am alive, because I can't even believe, and until nowadays, I even think what I have done wrong. Why these people are so scared of a woman? Why they're scared of a woman? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. If I am strong, if I do something, and if I'm a successful person for my country, for my people, what does it hurt the Taliban? And it just doesn't make sense to me how afraid they are. How afraid of women they are. You know, I have seen this. I have been targeted by them, and I have been getting death threats from them. And I had to flee my country, you know, like in 2013. And then I actually came to India just for help, to be there, to escape the Taliban. And I had to go back to the country, thought the life is going to be, this threat's going to be over. But unfortunately, never been, because they believe that if they just kill you, that's an honor kill for them. And they just show to the other girls and other women that even they try to do something, if they raise their voice, this is going to be their future. This is going to what they end up with. And I did not want that. And that's why I wanted to be a voice for the woman, to be, they see me in the uniform. They will be encouraged to just say, no, we have to raise our voice. We have to do something. But that never been the case. I was the one, that's why I say I would never believe what the Taliban says or promises, because I have lived that life. I know how that looks like. And it's so disappointing and unfortunate, as an Afghan woman, to see this is all happening again in Afghanistan. And what I have been through and what I have experienced, I know most of the girls in Afghanistan, they will live like in a dark life for sure.
Well, you were asked to leave Afghanistan because of the kind of threat that you had to your own life in 2019. And of course, you were, let me also remind our viewers that the US State Department honored Niloufar with the International Women of Courage Award. She was then brought into the United States, met with Michelle Obama. How did that feel, Niloufar, for you to be fighting in your home country, not being recognized, in fact, further being targeted, but internationally, the kind of welcome and the credit that you received, what did that feel like to be in a place of freedom?
Well, it definitely was amazing, to see that your own country, people are so against women, against the woman's voice and freedom, that they don't even see what you have done for the country and what you're trying to do. All you're trying to do is serve and be part of the same equal society that a man wear uniform and a man can fly an airplane. A woman can do the same as well. But that never been the case. I have been in the country that they would just try to get rid of me. They didn't want me to be there. They have disqualified me a couple of times just because they didn't want me to be a pilot. And to see that internationally, they really appreciate and they know, what it takes to get there. And it was absolutely amazing experience. And I can tell that I was happy because I wanted the girls in Afghanistan to see that I know it's going to be risky, it's going to be dangerous, but at least the world can see that. The world can see the change.
Qazi Marzia Babar Khali's Twitter bio describes her as the female judge who is prosecuted by Taliban and is an Afghan refugee today. The former judge left Afghanistan after the Taliban took over.
What do you think the Taliban intends to do now? Because the kind of message that they're trying to send out is that this is going to be different. Women are going to be, not persecuted. We're going to involve them even in government. Do you believe what the Taliban says? Have they had a change of heart? Is it going to be any different from what we saw the last time around?
I do not believe the Taliban. People in Afghanistan do not believe them, because we know the Taliban, we know their strategy, we know who they are and what they did for Afghanistan. My personal experience with the Taliban was the worst experience I have in my life. When I left Afghanistan, the age of 43, it was not an easy decision I made. Left everything behind, my home, my status, my career as a judge, and my lovely family, my mother. Everything I left. Because of who? Because of the Taliban. Because of the Taliban, they are treating women like not as a human being. I don't know, just they have a special nefrat. It's a big question in my mind. Why Taliban, they are just hate women? Why? I don't have answer for this.
Now we are seeing, Qazi Marzia, like a lot of people in Afghanistan are wanting to leave Afghanistan. They've been desperate to leave Afghanistan. What comes to your mind when you see these pictures, these horrific images of people actually trying to get onto the wing of an aircraft and then losing their lives in the process, just trying to escape the country? Some people have picked up their children and given it to the UK forces that anywhere but Afghanistan. What comes to your mind when you see these pictures and reports?
Of course, this all my bad memories coming back, and I feel so sorry about my country, about my people. We don't deserve this, to be honest. We worked very hard to achieve something. Just we lost everything for one night. Of course, it's difficult for me to survive, to see my people in this situation. It is so tough for me, for every woman in the world. It's tough. It's difficult. It's difficult.
A female journalist, Shabnam Darwan, is a well-known television news anchor for Afghan's national broadcaster, RTA Pashto. On 18th August, despite wearing a hijab, carrying proper ID cards, she was barred from joining work. आप मुझे बताएंगी कि आपके साथ क्या हुआ शबनम? आप आरटीए पश्तो के साथ काम करती हैं, एक न्यूज़ एंकर हैं वहाँ पर. अभी तक तालिबान ने बोला है कि महिलाएं गवर्नेंस में होंगी, सारी राइट्स उनको मिलेंगी. आपके साथ क्या हुआ?
धन्यवाद. यस, मैं अफगानिस्तान की नेशनल रेडियो टेलीविजन में काम करती हूँ. मैं वहाँ न्यूज़ करती हूँ. जब जबीला मुसाइद के प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के पास में मॉर्निंग रेडी हो गई और ऑफिस के लिए मैं जब ऑफिस पहुँची, उधर ऑफिस के जाने के लिए मैं ऑफिस गई. और जब मैं ऑफिस पहुँची, उधर मुझसे कहा गया कि आपका जाना ऑफिस में अलाउड नहीं है. मैंने पूछा क्यों अलाउड नहीं है. उन्होंने कहा कि निज़ाम बदल गया है और आप इस दिन के बाद नहीं कर सकती, जॉब आप चेंज नहीं कर सकती. मैंने पूछा क्यों. मेरे पास ये टीवी का ID कार्ड है, ये मेरा कार्ड है, मैं इस चैनल में प्रेजेंटर हूँ, क्यों अलाउड नहीं है. मैंने पूछा दूसरी टेलीविजन जो अफगानिस्तान में प्रो टीवी है, शमशाद टीवी है, इधर है, गेट्स काम करते हैं, पर क्यों मेरे लिए महदूदियत है कि मैं सुबह आ गई हूँ और आप इजाज़त नहीं देते कि मैं ऑफिस में जाऊँ और अपने जॉब को स्टार्ट करी. उन्होंने कहा कि निज़ाम बदल गया है, हमारा रूल बदल गया है, वुमेन के लिए RTA में अब काम करना अलाउड नहीं है. मैं घर आई आपके पास और आपके दर्शकों के पास जो वीडियो है, इस वीडियो रिकॉर्ड कर दी और ट्विटर पर डाली कि जबीला ने बोल दिया. मैं उसका कॉन्फ्रेंस के बाद खुश हो गई कि वो वाह, हमारे लिए इस अमारात के बाद भी हमारे जॉब करने में और हम जॉब के जाने में पाबंदी महदूदियत नहीं है. हम दिल खुश करके ऑफिस जा सके. जब मैं वहाँ पहुंची, उन्होंने कहा कि अलाउड नहीं है, जाओ अपने घर, तुम्हारे आने का अलाउड नहीं है, तुम जाओ अपने घर जाओ. मैंने कहा क्यों. मैंने ID कार्ड भी उनको दिखा दिया और ये भी कहा कि मेरे पास जो कॉन्फ्रेंस के रिकॉर्ड थे वो रिकॉर्ड थे, उनको दिखा दिया कि इस रिकॉर्ड में भी किया कि उन्होंने बोल दिया वुमेन और मेन कर सके अपनी जॉब चाहिए. और उन्होंने अपनी कॉन्फ्रेंस लाइव कहा. उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, उन्होंने हम पर खींचा और बोल दिया कि जाओ अपने घर जाओ और इस दिन के बाद तुम्हारा आना इधर अलाउड नहीं है.
In her late 30s, Sahara Karimi is an Afghan film director and the first female chairperson of the Afghan Film Organization. The first and the only woman in Afghanistan with a PhD in cinema and filmmaking. She had to be evacuated from Kabul after the Taliban took over. Fleeing to Kiev in Ukraine, she captured the moment of her flight taking off from Kabul and tweeted, "My beloved Afghanistan, my beloved city, Kabul."
What's really going on? That video that you posted has gone completely viral. How are you doing right now to begin with?
I am in hospital because when we came here, like we came out of Kabul, my brother, he got neurotic attack, and he got badly sick. So, and from the day that we arrived, he's in hospital. So I'm with him and take care of him to get better. But still, he feels better. But today, every day I come at the evening. I come just to. I just come to meet him, to talk to him, and give him some food and those things.
Sarah, your video went completely viral. Just tell us what was going through in your mind when you put out that video. What were you doing, and what were the thoughts that were coming to your mind then?
Yeah, in 15th of August, I was in the I was in bank and was trying to get money. But unfortunately, we were waiting and we didn't get money. And then manager of the bank, he came to me and gunshot started outside of the building. And the bank manager, he came and he told me that I need to leave. I should to leave because the Taliban just surrounded the Kabul and they are entered to the town and they are very near. So you should go home because everybody knows me in Kabul, so I'm quite famous. So for that, he was afraid of me, and he showed me the back door, so I could go to take taxi. I couldn't take taxi, so I started to running. And in the middle of running, I just decided, okay, it is not fair that they are coming and they are just take over the city. So the world should know about us. So I started to go live on Instagram and tell people that yes, this is me and this is I'm running and Taliban just entered there. So it was that moment that I was running and in the same time I was filming. But I didn't know that this video will share this much. I think more than around 1.5 million just they shared, or 2 million they just watched it.
25-year-old Crystal Bayat led the group of protesters to Wazir Akbar Khan hilltop. She went to hoist the national flag on Afghanistan's Independence Day on 19th August. A Delhi University graduate, Crystal is an activist and vows to fight the Taliban as long and as far as possible.
Crystal, what is giving so much bravery and courage to young Afghans like you to come out on the streets in Kabul, in other cities as well, and protest while the brutal Taliban are taking over? Crystal.
Thank you. We wanted to show the Taliban and that Afghanistan and its people have changed. You all have to change, and you have to forget your extremist thoughts and beliefs. We are unavailable from our rights and freedoms. How long we should be afraid from Taliban? We have to face this group and see that they have changed. They have changed is another matter. But as I faced with them, the Taliban's not changed. Taliban are the Talibans of 1997 with a narrow mind.
So when you decided to come out on the streets in Afghanistan, you were seen protesting. You had an Afghan flag in your hand. What are the risks involved presently for brave people like you there in the country who have decided to continue holding the Afghanistan flag in your hand and also come out on the streets and show a message there to the Taliban?
Well, as up to now, it's illegal that they are raising their group flag. That it's a group flag. It's not a national flag or our country's flag. We went to Taipei Wazir Akbar Khan to raise our flag and our Independence Day and celebrate our independence. So they didn't allow us, though I was knowing that they might shoot on me. But I accept all these challenges and I went there and I talked with them face to face that we have this right. But unfortunately, they behave in such a way that they told me, you're a woman, you are a lady, you have to stay at home.
Yes.
So I told them that we have the right to come out and we have to take part in all spheres of the society. And they said you're in a wrong way. So I didn't accept them, and then I continue, and we came on the streets and by the giving slangs of Zindabad Afghanistan, so long life to Afghanistan. And unfortunately, we were on the way, and they shoot on us. So my friend got
some of your friends, yes, did they receive injuries?
Yes, they received injuries, and they shoot it on us, and they came and they beat our driver very badly.